Today in this session we study about the compaction. First, what is compaction? Simply a simple ground improvement technique where the soil is densified through the external compactive effort. What is compactive effort? We apply the compactive effort through the external machines like roller machine, pneumatic tires type machine. Here we apply the compactive effort and to the soil with addition of water so that we can improve our soil so that it can take up the load. Compaction is a process. The soil particles are artificially arranged and packed together in the closure state of contact by the mechanical means in order to decrease the porosity of soil and decrease and increase its dry density. What are the laboratory compaction tests? To obtain the compaction curve and define the optimum water content and the maximum dry density for a specific compactive effort. There are two methods. First is standard Proctor method and second is modified Proctor method. Modified Proctor method generally we do for the higher load. First we study about the standard Proctor method in which the 3 layers soil are used and each layer is 25 kilo per layer and weight 2.6 kg per hammer and 310 mm drop. And in modified Proctor we use 5 layer 25 kilo per layer and 4.5 kg hammer and 450 mm per drop. And the volume of the mold we use is 1000 ml. First, the laboratory compaction test in which standard Proctor test we do. A cylindrical mold of 100 mm internal diameter and the internal effective height of 127.3 mm and the capacity of mold is 1000 cc. In which we use detachable base plate with the removable extension collar and metallic rammer of diameter 50 mm and weight 2.6 kg with the fall of 310 mm and steel straight edge of about 300 mm in length with the one edge leveled, balance 0.01 sensitivity and the 10 kg of capacity, in which we sieving use this IS sieve is 20 mm and 4.75 mm. These are the generally 2D diagram of the mold. What are the procedures through which we are doing? The first, the prepare about 6 kg of soil sample for 1000 cc mold by sieving it through 20 mm and retain at the 4.75 mm. Clean and dry and slightly grease the mold and the base plate. Weigh the empty mold with the base plate with the collar extension without extension collar. Take about 2.5 kg of soil for 100 mm dia mold for light compaction and for a weight we change for the other test. Add water to the soil specimen to bring the moisture content about 4 to 5% in the sandy soil. Why first we add 4 to 5% is reason because the bulging effect of the sand can be removed after the addition of the water up to the 5%. So we use the first 4 to 5% of water. Mix the water with the soil thoroughly. Divide the wet soil into 3 equal parts and put the soil in the 3 layers and compact it. Each layer is given 25 blows. Before putting the second layer, make a scratch on the first layer with the help of sharp edge tool so that the second layer start to make bond. The second and third layer are the similarly compacted and rotate the collar to break the bond between it and the soil and then remove trim off the soil to make it flush with the top of the mold. Clean the loose soil from the outside and the base of mold. Wet the mold with the base plate and compacted soil. Now eject the soil out of mold and take the representative soil sample from the center and keep it in the oven for the water content determination. Repeat the procedure by the 6 to 7 times by increasing the water content by 2% in each turn. Now, with the help of the water content that we calculated and the weight that is mass we measured, and we have to find out the volume, so we can obtain the density, and a maximum dry density can be found out by rho divided by 1 plus W. W we can calculate from the dry oven test. The bulk density and the corresponding dry density for the compacted soil is calculated from the following relation. These relations are rho is equal to m by v. M is mass in gram and volume is in cc. And dry density we can obtain by rho divided by 1 plus W. W here is water content. Now the zero air wide line, a line which shows the water content dry relationship for the compacting soil containing a constant percentage air wide are known as the air wide line. In the term of air wide, we have to obtain the relationship rho d is equal to 1 minus Na g rho of water 1 plus Wg. For the zero air wide line, we generally put the Na is equal to 0. In next slide we look the zero air wide line is equal to Na is equal to 0. So rho d is equal to g rho of water 1 plus Wg. Then this is the maximum density which can be obtained in this test. The relationship between the water content and dry density for a degree of saturation S. So general formula of the dry density is equal to g rho W upon 1 plus E. At the place of E we can put up the Wg upon S. So we obtain the relationship in the term of the degree of saturation. Now with the help of changing the 2% of the water in each test, we can obtain the curve between the maximum dry density and the water content. Look what is happening in this curve. First, in the initial water content, that is 8 to 9%, the dry density is near about 1.6 gram per centimeter cube. As we increase the water content, the dry density is increased, but after a certain period, certain amount of water content, it gives the maximum dry density. And as we further increase the water content, then the dry density start to decreasing. So we can say that at a particular water content, we obtain the maximum dry density. So we can say that this is a optimum water content at which we can obtain the maximum dry density. Here is a two line basically curve that is parallel to the falling curve. Here the two lines, first is dotted line, a second is solid line. In the dotted line is the in which we use the air porosity is 5%. For the zero air wide line, we use the Na is equal to 0. This is the maximum dry density for the soil. This relationship is very helpful for the compacting these soils. Second, for the higher load, this compaction is needed for the heavier transport and military aircraft. So the modified Proctor test is used in the heavier transport and military aircraft, in which in this test we use the 5 layers of the soil, and for each layer 25 blow we applied, and the weight of the hammer is 4.5 kg, and in which drop is 450 per drop. As we applied the heavier load to the soil testing, so we obtain the higher dry density as we compared with the standard Proctor test. And in this curve, we also see that at lower water content we obtain the higher dry density. So the modified Proctor test is very helpful in compacting the soil for the heavier transporting loads. In the field, how we compact the soil? The soil can be compacted in the field by the 3 methods. First is rolling, second is ramming, in which generally we apply the impact load over the soil, and third is vibration. These are generally used according to the condition of the soil, as it may be granular, sandy, or clay soil. So according to the condition of the field, we apply each of the rolling, ramming, and vibration load compaction methods. First we look at the rolling. The rolling equipment, the smooth wheel roller is used for the crushed rock, granular, and the sand. Pneumatic tired roller is used for the both type of the soils. Sheep foot roller basically used for only cohesive soil, and slurry and pneumatic tires are used for the construction plant and tracking layout vehicle. Second is ramming equipment. Ramming is done in the confined place, in which the dropping weight type, and second is internal combustion type, third is pneumatic type. Third is vibration. Vibration generally given for the cohesionless soil, in which it is also of 2 types. First is dropping weight type, and second is pulsating hydraulic types. First, let's study about the smooth wheel roller. Smooth wheel roller are basically 3 types. First, conventional 3 wheel roller type, in which 2 large smooth face steel wheel in the rear and one smaller smooth face drop in the front, weight of 20 to 150 kN. Second is tender roller, weighing from the 10 to 140 kN. Third is 3 axle tender roller, weighing 120 to 118 kN. The smooth wheel roller are the usually self-propelled and equipped with the clutch type of the reversing gear, so that they can apply the back and forth without the turning. Second is pneumatic tired roller. A common form of the pneumatic tire roller consists of a box platform mounted between the 2 axles, and the rear of which one more wheel than the front. One wheel is extra in the rear case. The pressure in the small roller are of the order of 2 kN per meter cube square, and in the heavier roller the pressure ranges from the 400 to 150 kN per meter square, and the smooth roller are the having the tire load about the 7.5 kN, while the bigger roller tire having the load ranging from bearing. The sheep-footed roller. The sheep-footed roller consists of the hollow cylindrical steel drum. We can see in the figure, these are the sheep-footed roller. In the second figure, we can see that in the field how it is compacting the soil. Third is track layer vehicles, we can see there. Third is rammer. A rammer for the compacting the soil comprising of the pneumatic and the internal combustion type, weighing from 300 to 1500 Newton. These are the heavy load which can be applied over the soil. The shape is just like a frog which can provide the impact on the soil. The internal combustion type and the jumping rammer, we call it jumping rammer, also called as a frog hammer. The weight is generally vary up to 1 ton. Third is vibrators. These are generally used for the sandy soil. The vibrator consists of the vibrating unit of the either out of balance weight type or a pulsating hydraulic type. Third, we only deal with what are the factors that are affecting the compaction. First, what are the effects on the compaction of the water content, and second is amount of compaction. Third is type of compaction, and fourth is type of soil. Fifth is addition of admixture. First, look at the water content. From the last curve, we look at this. In this curve, we see that as the water content is increasing, initially the dry density is increasing, but after a certain water content, the dry density start to decreasing. So we say that at a particular water content, the dry density is maximum, and that water content we call is optimum water content. So the water content from the laboratory compacting test, as the water content is increasing, the compacting density goes on increasing until the maximum dry density achieved, after which further addition of water decreasing the density. Second is amount of compaction. The effect of increasing the compacting energy results in the increasing the maximum dry density. As we see in the modified Proctor test, if we increase the hammer weight, so the dry density is increasing. So and decreasing the also optimum water content. Third is method of compaction. The various aspects are weight of the compacting equipment. Second is manner of operation. Third is time and area of contact between the compacting element and the soil. Fourth is type of soil. The maximum dry density of the soil depends on types of soil. Either it well-graded coarse grain soil attached to the much higher density and the lower optimum water content. Fine grain soil which requires the more water for the lubricating because of the greater specific surface. Here from the curve we can see that first is CH. CH is highly clay soil. Second is CL, light clay soil. Third is ML, silty, light silt. And third is SW, well-graded sand, and GW, well-graded gravel. We can see that the well-graded gravel help achieve the maximum dry density with the minimum water content. Second is a well-graded sand is achieve lower dry density as compared with the well-graded gravel. In sequence wise, as we move to the clay soil, it requires the it requires the higher water content and it achieves the lower dry density in comparative with others. So from this curve we can conclude that the well-graded gravel achieves the much higher density and the clay soil achieve the lowest density. So and other soils in between them is achieve in between the density. So others effect how can increase or modify the compaction. So the admixture. So the addition of the certain admixture to the soil results in the modification of the compacting property. Like the calcium chloride has been widely used as a chemical additive. Last we deal with the effect of compaction on the some soil properties. The effect of compaction on the soil property is first permeability, second is change in the structure of soil. As we know that the whites is very reduced as we increasing the compacting load. So the structure of the soil is totally changed and the permeability also reduced and the sinkage limit is also changed and the swelling, compressibility and the stress strength characteristic and the shear strength. Shear strength generally increased after the compacting the soil. A shear strength is a major purpose of increasing the compacting the soil so that we can obtain the highest shear strength of the soil. The placement of the water content. The water content used in the field compaction is called placement water content. It may be equal to or lower than or higher than the optimum water content determined in the laboratory test. These are the talk about the what are the how much of water content we used for the field in the compaction. These are the obtained from the laboratory test for which type of the soil we use generally in the field according to which we done in the test in the laboratory and with the result of the laboratory test we obtain the optimum water content which we applied in the field for the compacting. Thank you for this session.